So let's talk about discontinued bag styles. These were ones that I feel were discontinued prematurely. They had more to give. And to be honest, I think they should be brought back. Hello, and the warmest welcome to today's video. For those of you who haven't seen my face before, hi, I'm Nick, glad to have you here. Those who have seen my face before, thank you so much for joining me again. I hope you enjoy my videos. I put out videos roughly 3 times a week on a range of different topics, anywhere from fashion, slightly more personal topics. So if that sounds like something you'd be interested in, then please do head down, hit subscribe, and turn on the notification bell. I love chatting with you all. I'm all about living life loud, and what that means to me is being your authentic self, being proud to be you, and just celebrating who you are. Celebrating yourself and celebrating others. So, quickly, bag of the day. It's been an office day. You know what that means. Aspinall of London, Tote. What did I do before that bag? I don't know. I just can't imagine not having this in my life now. Can't believe I sat on it for so long. It's such a recommend from me. I love it. Really love it. Fabulous. Anyway, let's talk about discontinued bag styles. And, you know, fashion changes, style adapts and adjusts, and things go out of fashion, things come back into fashion. I'll be honest with you, I couldn't tell you what was in fashion. You know, I don't think I really follow fashion per se. I mean, look at what I'm wearing today, right? Is this fashion? I don't really know. It's my sense of style, which is different, I think, to being fashionable to being stylish. I think they are two different things. I'd like to think I'm stylish. Do I know that I'm fashionable? I'm probably not fashionable. Anyway, these are items, like I said in the intro, that I feel were prematurely discontinued. I feel like they had more to give. I feel like they are very popular styles. They also are kind of pre-loved heroes now because they do quite well on the resale market in terms of as a buyer, because their RRPs are lower. So you can get some really good deals on these, but I do feel like they had more that they could have offered, and they probably should have existed within their ranges for longer. Some of these you might look at and say, yes, Nick, but they've been replaced with an updated version. Fine, you can think that. I personally really like these styles, even if they have filled the gap with something different. I just think that these all worked really well. So, the first one, and this is a brand that we all love to hate, Chanel. And the bag that I am going to talk about today, there were 2 that I had the option of that I was thinking, and I was thinking about the Chanel Executive being one. However, the one that I have opted for is the Chanel GST. This frequently sits on people's top bag lists. It frequently features as a bag that people wouldn't sell, that they absolutely love. I mean, considering the fact there's quite a lot on the pre-loved market, clearly someone's selling them, but a lot of people say, I would never sell this. I love this bag. It's the perfect tote. It's the perfect work bag. It's the perfect shoulder bag. And I can see it. I think it's beautiful. It is chic. It is sophisticated. Love that it comes in the beige. Love it in the white. Love it in the black. It's a beautiful, beautiful item. And it's one of those bags that I think is an icon of its time. And it's very sophisticated. Love the hardware on it. It's just been beautifully thought through and beautifully put together. I would really like to own a Chanel GST at some point. And I actually think my love of the Aspinall of London Tote, and actually my love of the Rousseau, which I have here, is making me more inclined to be looking at bags like that, because I do use them a fair amount now. So I definitely think this is a beautiful piece. It's not one that tends to go cheap on the pre-loved market, but it's Chanel, so it never will. But it does sit at a reasonable price point compared to other pre-loved Chanel items. It is more expensive than the Chanel Executive, for example. So if you are looking for a Chanel tote, I think you'll get a better deal on an Executive. But I just feel that the GST offers a little bit more in terms of its overall aesthetic. It's a beautiful piece. And like I said, I think they discontinued it prematurely. They do have totes within the collection. They have the DeVille, etc. But I think this would still have a place if they were to bring it back. Now for a flat bag style, and we're going to Dior. And which Dior bag do you think I'm going for here? This is one that I've heard a few people mention as one that was prematurely discontinued. And this is the Dior Diorama. This had a beauty and edginess to it that not many flat bags have and not many flat bags can pull off. This was just a great, great style. I loved the shield emblem on it, loved the kind of canage, is that what it's called? The pattern that they had on it. They brought it out in beautiful prints. This is one that you can get a good deal on from a pre-loved perspective. They also have them at outlet from time to time. So you can get a great deal on these, but I really feel that it still would have a place within Dior's collection. As much as I like the Caro, that's a nice bag, I feel that the Dior Diorama was a more impactful and actually more successful flat bag than the Caro. It was a little more divisive. I think you either loved it or really disliked it, but I think at least you had a point of view when it came to this bag, whereas I feel that the Caro is a little bit meh. So I just feel that this was a really nice bag. They brought it out in a range of different sizes, loved the hardware with it, felt really substantial. You could style this more formally, you could style this very casually, you could buy it in all sorts of colours and patterns and prints, and it was just a beautiful, beautiful item. It was a great compliment, I felt, to the Lady Dior in the range, because you had the edginess of the Diorama and then you had this very elegant aesthetic that the Lady Dior brought through. And actually, I do feel that in maybe some of the newer Lady Diors, like the diamond quilting, for example, they're actually combining some of the edginess that they had within the Diorama range into the Lady Dior's. So that's nice to see, but I actually feel that both had a great place in Dior's collection. Obviously, the Lady Dior is iconic, timeless. I can't see it ever not being in Dior's collection, but I actually feel that the Diorama still should be there, to be honest. But it is really good for a pre-loved lover, much like myself, because you can get a great deal on a Dior Diorama, and it's a nice alternative to other flat bags, Gucci Dionysus, etc., if that's what you're looking for. Another firm favourite of mine that I've spoken about on this channel before, there is one that I was very, very close to buying on Fashionphile, but I've never bought from Fashionphile, and I don't know what the taxes look like. If anyone has bought from the UK or Europe on Fashionphile, could you let me know? Obviously, you don't have to disclose the amounts, but did you pay a decent amount of tax and import on it? I'm just trying to figure out if what I would be buying is as good a deal as I think it is once I add in tax, import fees, etc. If I'm adding another 30% onto the purchase price, I might not think it's as good a deal, or I might still think I'm getting a bit of a bargain. So I'd be really interested to know. But this bag is the Celine Trapeze. And I know that the Celine luggage still exists within the range, but I feel that the Celine Trapeze, the Celine Phantom, that was a fantastic time. Phoebe Philo, Celine. It was a very iconic time for the brand. I love the mixture of materials that they use on the trapeze. Quite often it includes suede, it includes leather. They were often tri-colour as well. The only thing that's fiddly with the trapeze that bugs me a little bit is the closure. But I think you can see past that, and you can get really good deals on these. So it's great from that perspective. But I do still feel that this is a very iconic Celine piece and would still have a place in the collection. I don't often understand why when they change creative directors, they quite often feel the need to move away from the vision of the previous one. Keep both in tandem. There was one that I really liked in Bista, but it was about £850, and I was umming and ahhing, and I went to take a photo with it to see how it looked against my frame, and the sales associate told me off for taking a photo, and that immediately put my nose out of joint, because I thought, if I'm not able to look at this objectively from a photo to see how I feel about it, sorry, you're not getting £850 of my money. It's not happening. I'd taken the photo before I got told off, so I didn't delete it, but it annoyed me. So I thought, oh, I'll go back and see how I feel. So maybe I'll go back next time I'm at Bista and see if there's a trapeze that takes my fancy. But yes, it's a beautiful piece, and I really liked the vision at the point in time that this has been created. I also could have gone for the Phantom, because I love the Phantom as well. And I love the luggage, but I don't know why you couldn't have all three. I think they all offered slightly different things. They were a beautiful range. Yeah, Like this a lot. Now, this is the one that I wonder if you'll say to me, yeah, but Nick, it's been updated with a new style. And this is the Louis Vuitton Palace Tote. I really love this top handle style. It comes with a shoulder strap as well, but I really love this top handle style. Beautiful in the monogram. Love the fact that it has this pop of color that shows the interior, but that I think is a leather piece. And then you've got the interior that's a similar color. I believe this one is called Raisin. It's lovely. It's a really beautiful top handle style, very sophisticated. I really, really like this. And the bag that I think it's probably been updated with is the On The Go. I think that is probably what you would say it is most comparable to, but I just really like the simplicity of this particular one without, it's got a certain amount of structure to it without looking too boxy. It's just a really nice item. It'd be a nice work bag. It would be a nice day bag. I don't own any Louis Vuitton monogram myself, but I do really like the Louis Vuitton monogram, but I do like the fact that they have broken this up somewhat with the interior and also that little pop of what I think is leather, maybe a canvas, but that little pop of color that just breaks it up. And they do that in a range of different colors. I think you could also get black, which again breaks it up. It's a lovely, lovely item. There were a few of these available, not a huge number. They're a reasonable-ish price point. They seem to be holding their value pretty well. So the deals aren't quite as substantial as some of the other items on this list, but it's a really lovely bag and definitely one to consider. And if I saw one at the right price point, I could maybe see myself going for one. But like I said, the price point would really have to be there because you can get much better deals on, for example, a pre-loved Speedy than you could on this. So yeah, just something to consider, but it's a really lovely item and definitely deserved a place on this list. Now we're back to Dior and another what I would class pre-loved hero because of the price points that you can acquire these for, given how much they were RRP to begin with. I'm talking about the Dior Diorama. The Dior Diorama is also a fantastic Kelly alternative if you're looking for something that is at a far different price point, particularly with the fact that this has been discontinued. But this is beautiful. It is subtle. It is elegant. It existed at the same time as the Diorama. And I think it's a shame that they discontinued both of them because I do still feel that they would have a place in today's collections. But it's a beautiful item. They brought it out in a range of different colors, materials, sizes. I love the silver. I remember seeing this in a really beautiful electric blue at one point in time as well. It's secure. It's quite classic. I don't feel that this is a bag that will date. And that's really important. So although it's been around for a number of years, has since been discontinued, can now only be purchased pre-loved, I feel like if you get one in new enough condition, you could easily believe that this is a new from boutique current style. I think you would really have to understand the evolution of Dior over the past couple of years to see that this has been discontinued as a style. That's not me saying that I understand Dior, it's just me saying I know what they've discontinued and what they've kept. But I think this is a really beautiful, subtle, sophisticated piece. You could buy this in a great pop of color. You could buy it in a more neutral tone. It could be a great work bag. I actually think given this in the right size, it could be a beautiful evening bag as well. Like I said, a great Kelly alternative if you're looking for a Kelly, but maybe the price point doesn't work for you. Maybe you've already got a Kelly and you just like something with a similar look that you don't want to worry about quite so much. Maybe you're a lover of Dior, and therefore you don't want to consider something like a Cartier or a Ferragamo piece. This would be a great alternative and something to definitely consider. Price point wise, on Fashionphile, you're looking at around $1,200. I've seen them for sale for £800, £700 on UK consignment sites. So not one that if you've owned it and you're looking to sell it, you're going to get a huge amount for, but from a pre-loved perspective, you can get an absolute steal. So beautiful bag, well worth considering. And finally, we are talking about a print that I think needs to be brought back. And I don't think I will be alone in sharing this sentiment. I would love to see the Louis Vuitton multicolor return. I was not old enough at the time to even be looking at it. I didn't know what it was at the time. Kind of in the early 2000s. I think when this was released, I was maybe 10 years old, something along those lines. I didn't know who Louis Vuitton was. I just adore the print. I would personally love a piece of the rainbow on a black background opposed to on the white background. However, if someone were to gift me it, I wouldn't turn my nose up at any of it. I think it's all beautiful. The only amend that I think I would make to update this is to not use vachetta leather. I think I would probably use a treated leather in some capacity, whether that be a black treated leather, a white treated leather. I would just move away from vachetta because I actually feel that is what slightly dates these pieces. I don't dislike it when vachetta ages, but you can definitely tell that the bag is older, and I think that quite often means that Louis Vuitton pieces age a little bit more than, for example, other fashion houses. Even a Speedy, for example, that has been around for years and years and years, you see one with really dark vachetta, it's either been used significant amounts or it's a much older piece. So you've immediately time-stamped that bag just by that leather, whereas with a piece that has treated leather, it can look, I think, fresher for a little bit longer. So that would be the only update that I would make. And of course, I think they brought this out at the time on very iconic bag styles of the time. So I think, for example, the Louis Vuitton Chrissy, as an example, came in the multicolor. That was an it bag of the moment. It was quite quickly discontinued. So if they were to bring this back out, I could imagine this being on a Neverfull, for example, and Capucines. I think it would be incredibly popular and it would sell out like hotcakes, and yes, they wouldn't date in quite the same way, but this was a beautiful collection. Murakami. I would still really love a piece. If they weren't to ever bring this back, I would love a piece from this. I would probably go for an Alma if it were me. Yeah, I'd probably go for an Alma in the Murakami. It's absolutely stunning, but this would be a great item to bring back. Maybe, I don't know, was it around 2005 that they brought it out? Maybe in 2025 as like a 20-year anniversary of it, maybe they'll bring some back. Fingers crossed. But I would really love a piece if they ever did, because I think it's beautiful. So there we have it, everyone. That is my list. Let me know what some of your favorite discontinued items are. Are there any that you agree with on this list? Any that you disagree with? What are some of the styles you would love to see fashion houses bring back, or that you feel they discontinued prematurely? Please let me know, and I cannot wait to see you in my next video. Take care, everyone. Bye now. Mwah.